Hello everyone, this is Wei, and today we're going to talk about how to add a new effect into OpenLive3D. So this is the flow to add a new effect. For example, you will have to create a new effect file. And in this effect file, you will have to define four things. Three functions and one parameters. The functions will be enable effect, disable effect, update effect. The parameters will be the parameters, of course. And after you created this file, basically the admin, will be able to include this effect file into the HTML and then also make the modification to the effect manager. So this is just the brief view. Let's take a look at the whole picture, how everything works. Right, so for example, currently what we are going to check is this front light effect. We're going to change the light of the front facing light. And in this light, first let's take a look at the theme. Right, so in our GUI layout, so this is basically the front end manager, we define four different lights. So there are front light, back light, top light, and bottom light. Most of the light here are actually black. As you can see, this is the code for black color. So we're not actually going to see anything from the backlight, top light, and also bottom light. The only thing that is having an effect right now is the front light. Right, so this is the front light. And we are going to enable this function and we're going to modify this function, right? So inside this GUI manager, there is a part where it will create a corresponding UI and corresponding enable function when you are trying to modify it. And inside this control manager, we have a loop, right? We have this visualization loop that will keep running every single frame to update the theme. When it is trying to update, it will also have a function called update effect, right? So inside this update effect, it will check whichever function is currently enabled. And after it checks the enable function, it will call the update effect function defined in this effect manager, which is basically a large configuration, right? So and inside this large configuration in effect manager, we will define for whichever function, for example, for front light effect, we will define the enable this effect, disable this effect, update effect, and also parameters. Right, so here we're defining three functions and one parameters, or we are passing these three functions and one parameters into this configuration. So where are these three functions and one parameters being defined? Because we're seeing that inside this configuration file in effect manager, there are not a lot of things, right? So these functions and parameters are defined in the corresponding effect files, which is the file you will need to create if you are going to create a new effect that you would like. So for example, here we're having a front light effect. And as you can see, inside our effect folder, there are already a front light and also a backlight. But inside our GUI, we actually have four different kinds of light here, right? So in this example that I'm creating the video, I'm going to create a new effect file. So let's create a new effect file, copy everything from the front light, and change it to top light, right? So we know that we have four different kinds of light in our front end definition, but three lights are not having effect. We already have the backlight, right? So we already have the backlight that kind of being enabled and being reset and being updated. that could enable the backlight, but we don't have anything updated for the front light yet. So this is what we are going to do. So we'll call this get top light function, which is also defined in our front end, right? So inside our front end, there is a top light, which is black currently. We have a function called get top light. So we'll use this get top light function to get the top light that it had already been defined into our modification. And when we try, after we get this top light, we can modify the color. So what we are going to do here, let's first name this file as top light. And inside this toplight.js file, the first one is enablement. So we will, although we called it adjust top light effect, it is basically an enablement for the top light to start having a color. By default, the top light will be in black, which is something that we will need to take care of when we try to reset everything, right? So reset top light effect, when we're trying to reset it, we will have to make it black again, right? So the intensity can also be 0. Let's see what we did in backlight. Yes, we did it also in 0. So we change it to black and also change the intensity to 0 when we're trying to disable it. When we're trying to enable it, we will get the parameters, the current parameters of our configuration, which is the parameters, right? So we're trying to get a color from our parameters. So we were copying everything from front light. So we have to change all the parameters into top light parameters. So we're getting the color, we're getting the intensity. The intensity is actually a floating number from 0 to 1, right? And inside this intensity definition, what we're having is a current number 100 from 0 to 100, right? So we'll need to change, transform this intensity from the 0 to 100 integer into a 0 to 1 floating number, which is what we are doing here. And when we're calling update top light effect, we will actually just enable it, and you will keep getting the new parameters if we updated it into function. So we also need to change this, the adjust front light effect that is code inside update to adjust top light effect. So that's everything that we will need to do. So we just create this top light file, adjust the parameters, adjust the enablement function, adjust the disable function, and then adjust the update function. For front light, backlight, and also top light, these are simple. For other functions, it might be harder. For example, for the blur function, you can see it's a little bit longer, but for the ramp function, it is a lot longer, right? So there are different kind of effect that may be made with different complexity. But for top light, it is quite simple. So we basically get everything done for our top light. And if you are trying to create a new effect, this is all you will need to do. This is all you will need to do. And everything else, I can take care of them. But I will also show what I will do, right? So after you created this file, you make a commit, and then you make a pull request, and then I will accept your pull request. Now your file is inside our repository, right? So now let's taken that this file had already been added by someone else instead of me. What I will need to do is, first of all, inside this effect manager, I will add a new effect called top light, and we will need to add a key, title, description, and then the enable function, disable function, update function and the parameters that we need. And that's not just it, because we also need to make changes in this index HTML to include the top light. And that's basically it. After we made these adjustments, we will be able to see that in our testing environment. And after we push this code into our production, which is the master branch of OpenLive3D, you'll be able to see the newly added top light function, that is something that we just created, into a function, into the live environment. So this function is all you need to do, all you need to create, which is very simple. Add whatever like visual effect that you would that you will need. If you have any question, want to add a more complex effect, let me know. I will like to help you. Whatever effect that you would like to add, let me know. I will be able to provide a lot of support. We also added some more complex effect, like this particle effect for rain effect. So I basically know how to make things work. If you are not able to make it easily, basically let me know. Cool, that's it for today. Bye bye.